Good morning. We're loading the sprayer up for the load this morning here. We've got some weeds to kill. You remember those weeds we saw the other day when we were spraying foliars? Yeah, we're gonna go kill them. We're sort of going to do some spot spraying here, so I honestly have no idea how many acres that we need to do, so I didn't really know what to load up for. So we loaded up for 60 acres, which is probably way more than we need, but we'll find somewhere to use it, even if it's in some wheat stubble, I guess. Just Roundup in this one, glyphosate. I would like to have added some Liberty. I don't have any Liberty. I can't really use any Enlist because the beans that we're spraying are Extend Flex beans and they will die. Fortunately for us here, our giant ragweeds aren't exactly Roundup resistant yet. This doesn't help with that. But we got to do something, and this is all I can do. So we're going to go and hit them with a high rate. I put a heavy rate in of glyphosate. We're going to use 40 ounces instead of 32. Should take care of them. Yeah, sort of ugly back here. This is what we're after, is all of these giant ragweeds. Ooh, I don't have any sprayer tracks here. It's just a small area in the back of this field. There's a big low ground muck pocket there. Huge seed bank, and that's what we get. So we'll clean them up. Did about 12 acres in this field. So we've got a couple more around the corner that got some of this same high organic matter muck soils that got pockets. Again, don't have to spray the whole field, but part of it needs done, so we're gonna run over there and do it. That's why we mixed up a bigger batch than what I knew I would need for here. And we'll see how much we do over there and see how much we got left, and then we'll figure it out. Yep, I'm turning through the middle of the field because I don't need to go clear to the back. I just need to spray this front part. This is why we need a drone sprayer right here, this pass. Also, I should have thrown some manganese in the tank. That's what's making these beans yellow, is manganese deficiency. But this soft ground here, the pucker factor is high. Oh gosh, go baby go, don't get stuck. We just got her floored, full power, full speed. Don't stop, don't stop. Oh gosh. Oh, we're gonna make it. Ooh. And that one's not fun. This one's not fun either, but I don't think it's quite as bad. See, dead bailed out there. The sprayer tracks. Just keep moving. Yeah, we made it. I won't be doing that one again this year. There was about 4 passes in there when I wasn't sure we were going to make it through. Especially the last one. Okay. We got to get a drone. We got to get a drone. We got to get a drone. Problem is that muck spot there, it needs sprayed about 6 times a year because the giant ragweeds just keep growing. The beans need manganese application about every 2 weeks to be any good, and well, it doesn't get done very good. We do a crappy job of it because it's just not fun to go through. So that's probably the 3rd or 4th time we've been through them this year, but it's not enough, and yeah, they're just not fun. Sprayer, this big sprayer anyway. That's why we had bought that pull type Century sprayer that we sold this winter. We had that for a few years, but we never really used that either. It was just slow and it didn't get the job done like we needed it to, and so we didn't do it. We need a drone. Alright, one more with these spotty pockets here. There's one right in front of us. You probably can't tell, but that's all giant ragweed there in front of us. There's another spot down there. We're right across the road from the one we just did, and Yeah. We'll probably do 10 or 15 acres in this field too. I think we did about 10 across the road, so yeah. There's a lot more of this field that needed it than I initially thought. There's a big kind of low spot through the center that's got a bunch of weeds, so we're spraying quite a bit out here. These beans look a lot tougher than most of our beans. I don't know, these were some later planted ones. May have been a little wet when we were out here. I don't know, but some of them look really good, and then there's spots over there that they're just really yellow and short and uneven, and they don't look so good. Is what it is. You win some, you lose some. Don't have to worry about where we're going to spray the rest of it out at. We used it all up in this field. Okay, well, good. That makes this a little easier. So I think that's all we need to do. I'm sure we've still got a few random weeds somewhere, but we definitely got the worst spots. So Dad was actually mixing up some stuff in the gator sprayer, and he was going to be going around some edges of some fields along the roads and stuff. So that will be good. Let's see, I got a load of seed boxes coming back to me here in the next, driveway's over there, the next hour or so, half hour. So I'm going to go deal with that. And then I think we might go up and change the oil in the generator up by the irrigation stuff. Take a look at that field. I believe the next thing we have to spray is tasseled corn fungicide, so we park the sprayer out of the way. That's happening either Friday or Saturday. Got the last of the boxes in the barn. 63 of them in there yet that need to get returned. I hope that number matches what I'm supposed to return, but we'll find that out. Waiting on a return phone call. So went around and looked at some fields a little bit with the other rep there, and just kind of seeing where we're at with stuff. So I think I might need to run to Berkey. I wanted to go anyway to look at our double crop beans down there, but I need to get an oil filter for our generator, and it's down there. Well, our double crop beans are growing. Down to Berkey. This is the first field of wheat that we combined, first field of double crop beans that were planted. And yeah, they're coming. They look good. So there was a spot here where the wheat was down. That's also why there's a lot more volunteer wheat, because down wheat you can't get it all as well. And then out here, the stubble's a little taller, but the beans are growing. They look really nice. Let's see. So we've got first trifoliates out. This is the second trifoliate that it's working on. They're coming. A couple more weeks, they'll be up over the stubble, and this field will look really good. So these were planted, I don't know, June 28th, something like that. I have to look up the date exactly, but basically a week earlier than we would start planting double crop beans normally. So that's a good thing. They should have pretty good potential. We are going to have to get down here with a sprayer at some point. You can see we've got a bunch of volunteer wheat starting to grow. That's what the grass is here. And yeah, we're going to have to spray it. I'm sure one of you is going to give me crap about all of the volunteer wheat and stuff and how terrible our combine is and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. You can save it. I've heard it before. Our combine did a fine job. We did not lose very much. It just looks really bad because it takes a lot of kernels of wheat to equal 1 bushel loss per acre. And this wheat field went 124 bushel the acre. If we lose a bushel, that's less than 1%. That's pretty dang good. A bushel is a million. Is it 1 million kernels? 2 million kernels. I don't know. It's a lot. 22 kernels per square foot. Every square foot. It's equal 1 bushel per acre. This is what we're after, right? Filter A. I'm pretty sure that's the right one. I don't need the fuel filter. I've already got one of those. I don't see any other filters. Well, let's go walk out here in our corn and take a look here. Definitely behind the stuff at Waldron. We're just starting to shoot some tassels here. Don't really see too many. These ends don't look good because it's wet. It was wet when we planted. Get off the ends, everything looks better. Yeah, this looks better. Looks pretty good. They said we're just starting to shoot some tassels out. This is full season corn. I believe we're 110 or 11 day here. One of those two. That's all we planted down here was 110 and 11. So it's got to be one of those. We'll get out here a little ways and take a look at the leaves and see what we got. Well, it's mostly very healthy. This corn looks pretty darn good here. We see a few spots on some of these leaves. We've got a little bit of insect feeding here. And then, there's a few light lesions and spots on some stuff like this. I don't know if that's disease or if we've got some kind of bug that's coming in and, puncturing the leaf, sucking some juices out, and it leaves a little spot behind. You will note there's a lot of little black specks. That's not tar spot though. Even like these here, that is just basically dirt. It's poop. It's bug poop is what it is. The deposits on the leaves that they wipe off. And if it wipes off, it's not tar spots. So there is some tar spot around. I have found very, very little of it. It's none here at Berkey yet, but there's a little back up to Waldron. See, some of these spots like this, I don't know if that's a little bit of real early gray leaf spot starting or if that's just, like I said, from insects on there. But the color looks good. It's pretty clean. We got no weeds out here. I'm pretty happy with the corn. We're actually sitting in really good shape right now. So yeah, one thing I wanted to do, let's go climb up on our bin over there so we can get up above this and look out across the field, just kind of see what it looks like from up a little higher. The ground is still just a little moist on top. We've got plenty of moisture here, not dry by any means. That said, we aren't really supposed to get any more rain for the next 4 or 5 days, which will be okay. But by the end of that, we'll be kind of ready for some rain. Oh yeah, looks real good from up here. So you can see the ends, right? Crappy stuff on the ends, but get past that. It's pretty even, pretty beautiful. Looks pretty darn good. Nice. Very, very nice. If you look way over there past those trees, that's another one of our farms, and you can see a variety split out there where the corn kind of changes color. Let's see if I can zoom in a little better. Kind of right there. And then the corn even farther over there in the distance, that's where my corn plot is, clear over there. It's a long ways away. And then we have more corn over there in that field. And that's it. That's all of our corn down here. You can see it. Fields all touch each other across the road. We've got some old signposts down here from plots and stuff, signs that I've put up a long time ago. It's been a while. We're gonna go ahead and throw those in and take them back to Waldron because, well, my sales rep took a bunch of what I had, so we need to replenish the stock. Made it back up here to the farm, to Waldron, and we need to get some oil and an empty oil bucket so we can go up and change the oil on this generator. So we also are going to need this tube for the drain. This is an empty. I think we're going to hook up a trailer and take up the concrete mixer and the pallet of concrete bags and some water so that we can put those posts in. Gonna need some water, and I know I have a well right there, but it's pretty hard to get water out of there in small quantities. So I'm filling up some jugs. We'll throw these in. I don't know if this will be enough or not. We'll take it, and if we need more, we can try and figure out how to get some out of our well. Two separate projects up here, so trying to make sure that I've got everything I need for both of them it's a lot of different stuff, but I think we got everything. We got the oil, the filter, a box of rags, an empty bucket, a drain pail, a socket driver to attach the hose clamp. A funnel. I think we got everything for the oil changing project. And then we've got our cement mixer and our cement and a shovel and our post hole digger to clean out the holes, and water and a level and a knife to open the bags on the concrete side of it, and a bottle of water, and a tape measure. So I think we're good. Weeds are starting to grow. Okay, we're gonna put posts in these holes that we've got here. I'm gonna start with that one. So we're gonna fire up the generator because we need electricity to run our cement mixer. Plus we need to let the generator warm up. Fuel. And then we should be able to mix up a batch or two or a post or two and let the generator warm up, and we'll change the oil in the generator, and then we'll see where we're at. And I don't know if we've got enough concrete to do all 4 of these. We got 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's been a while since we drilled them. The weeds are growing in there. Something like that. That feels plenty deep. Maybe it'll be a little taller. I don't know. Whatever. It'll be fine. Better than a hoe. Splash a little more water in there. I want it fairly runny to get down in the bottom of that hole and around the base of the pipe. Pretty good there. That's pretty good. Well, we got one in. I got it. Sort of full of concrete. It's not all the way. We'll fill it up. I ran out. It's fine. We'll come over here and do this one next, I think. Oh, we got a frog in there. You're gonna have to come out there, Mr. Frog. It's not a good spot for you. There's 3 of them. It's not a good spot. That post sits a little higher. Whatever, it's a little longer. It's fine. We got these 2 in. I've only got 3 bags of concrete left. That's not going to be enough to do another one. I don't know how many I used, but that many. I think it's 8, 9 bags per post, including filling it. So, of course, these ones are smaller diameter. They won't take as much inside, but that doesn't take that much anyway. Anyway, we got 2 in. We'll have to do the other 2 after we get some more concrete. So I'm gonna get this thing cleaned up, and then we'll get our oil changed. Well, it was bound to happen. So the oil drain for this comes out through the bottom side of here, through that port right there. And I forgot that we take the pipe nipple out and put a plug in right there. So now I have nothing to attach my hose to because I didn't bring that part. Dang it! Alright, well, let's load up our concrete mixer stuff and take that back and drop the trailer and get what we need. That piece right there, that's what we were missing. Now we slide this on there. Probably don't even need to tighten that clamp up. And put the other end in our bucket. Now, if I remember right, the last time it was a pretty slow trickle. Appears it's going to be a pretty slow trickle this time too. It's going. We're going to have to let that drain for a while, I think. Alright, well, while we let this drain for a little while, I brought some field signs for up here. Let's go put those up. This corn looks so good. Our sign up there, one of them. That's just beautiful corn. It's tall, dark green, looking fantastic. Alright, we're going to go up and put some on the other road off this corner, and then we'll come back and check on our generator. Oh my god, what did we do? Four signs put up. Sat there, changed the engine oil filter, and it's still draining, and it's draining really slow. So we'll walk out here and we'll look at our corn a little bit. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty darn good. It's very tall. That's how high I can reach. And we're 2.5 feet at least above that. I'm 6'4", so yeah, it's very tall. Lots of pollen shedding. You can see all the silks out here. very little lesions or disease or any issues with the leaves, blemishes, nothing. Just a lot of pollen sitting on it right now. Look at that little cluster of, that's all pollen. Even the bottom leaves, for the most part, still look pretty good. We got a little bit of firing on some of these leaves, but for the most part, they still look really good. So, when we're looking for tar spot, if you look on the top leaves or the upper part of the plant and you find it, it's probably because it blew in from somewhere else. If we look on the lower leaves, it's because it's coming up out of the residue in the soil, and it's kind of more, you know, existing in your environment rather than blowing in from the atmosphere. So I can't find it in either place very consistently. What little we have found has mostly come from the upper canopy, and I'm sure it's going to get worse, but look at that big spider web we got there. Yeah, it's coming. I know it's coming, but I think the dry weather that we had in June there when we were first getting the rain fired up here delayed it in our area compared to some other areas that have confirmed a tar spot and are getting it much worse than us. So I don't know. This corn looks fantastic though. We gotta keep pushing it. So last Friday I told you that if we pick an ear of corn and we pull the husks back really carefully and then see where the silks are still attached versus where they have let loose, you can see what's pollinated and what hasn't. Well, here's an ear that mostly pollinated. That clump of silks all just fell off. I didn't pull them off, they just shook off. But the ones on the tip there have not yet. They're still looking for that grain of pollen to hit that silks and get into the kernel there. So there's plenty of pollen around. They're still likely to do it. They just were halfway through or 3/4 of the way through on this particular ear. Pretty cool. Well, I shut the drain and refilled it. Checked it on the dipstick. It seemed good. We're going to run it for a minute or two, shut it off, wait a few minutes, and we'll check the oil level again. We're not getting 2.5 gallons out of it like it says we're supposed to. So I don't know. It drains really slow there, but it's been over an hour that it's been draining, so I would think it's good. We're going to go ahead and start the irrigation up right now anyway. So I got the rain fired up. I got to clean that off. That was a little low on the reach side. I had to top it off. Anyway, as I was saying, we're going to start the rain up now. So I started the engine on that, letting it warm up. And once we get this fired up, which we did, it should start communicating, and when it fires the base station up, it should start communicating, and then eventually it'll kick itself on and just pick up right where it left off. Well, it's just before 5 o'clock. We are back up and running here on path number 54. So we've got to cover these black lines yet on the south side of the field, some full passes, and then the point and the triangle there. And then we also need to come back up and do this side of the field again. But let's see, this is the third time over the field. Once we get down here, we'll have covered the entire field for the third time. And we are still putting fertilizer on here, and then we need to put fertilizer on here again, and then we're probably done, or we'll see where we're at, but that's probably as much as we'll do. We may run out of tank from there or something. But I would like to get this side of it done before Friday or Saturday. Today's Wednesday, because my Haggy guy's coming to do fungicide, and unlike previous years where we had permanent pipeline across the rows and we had to spray this field with a plane, we don't have that. So he can spray this field for me this year, and I'm going to have him do it, but we do have to have the machine back at its home point. So that's kind of my goal, and part of the reason why we're starting it up now instead of tomorrow is because it's going to allow us to finish this side of the field and get it back to its home point before Friday, or by this time on Friday. It's about 2 days worth of running there, I think. So that's what we're doing. We're running. Everything looks good here. Pump is running, the well is running, it's good. The injection pump is running, our tank is full there. We had brought fuel up just before we shut everything down, or I think that's what we were doing when we decided to shut it down. So we should be good here. Come bring some fuel up late tomorrow or first thing Friday morning and watch it work. If that was a pivot out there instead of the 360 rain, we probably wouldn't be starting it up right now. But with this kind of irrigation system, and even with the hard hose that we had before, you have to think differently than a pivot or something, because the advantage of a pivot is you get a lot more gallons per minute and you can cover the field a lot faster. You're not going to cover the whole field, but you're going to cover what you can a lot quicker. With this, where it takes 5 days to cover the field, I need to be 5 days ahead of a drought, and so we're not dry right now. In fact, it'd be really easy to go stick a shovel in the ground and find lots of moisture, but 5 days from now that won't be the case, and I don't want to get behind. I want to stay ahead of it. We're still trying to put fertilizer on. I would really like that to happen now that we're pollinating and stuff. It's like we've got a week or two and the fertilizer applications basically have to be done, at least the macro fertilizers through the water like this. Otherwise, it's just too late in the season for the plants to really benefit from it. So I want to do that and keep it moving. We will continue to water and push this. Like, we're not shooting for 200 bushel corn here. We're not even shooting for 250 bushel corn. We want as best we can do, and if I can do some 300s, that's what we're going to do. You don't get that by letting it get dry at all when it's pollinating. So let's stay ahead of it and let her run. Sometime tomorrow, hopefully we'll get a chance to come up here when it's closer to the road. It's heading towards the back of the field right now, and it would be a long walk through pollinating tasseled corn that is not fun, and I don't want to do it. So we're not going to. We're just going to let her go. But we'll come check on it tomorrow. We do need to keep an eye on those center drops. We've essentially mitigated the problem to an extent by allowing them to flex a little bit more, but 360 sent me some new drops that are much beefier than the ones that we had been breaking. So we're going to put those ones on because I think they will completely solve our problem. But like I said, I'm not walking out into the back of the field just to go chase this thing down right now. It doesn't need me. It can do it all by itself.